Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
This series is tied a game apiece, and it's been a wild ride. The Pirates blasted the Marlins in Game 1. Jose and Christian Yelich answered last night. And so JT Real Muto and the Fish, David Freese back in the lineup for the Pirates. The Marlins get set to take on these Pittsburgh Pirates. Rich Waltz along with Preston Wilson, everybody coming in to Marlins Park. And the good news is when they come in and they look at the lineups, Preston, they see Giancarlo Stanton's name right there.
Well, I think everybody knows if this team is going to go anywhere, Giancarlo Stanton is going to have to be in the mix. So it's nice to see him back in uniform, back on the field. Got Christian Yelich out there to go along with him. Hopefully the Marlins get ready to make a push for June.
What have you seen during batting practice from Stanton these last 3 days?
The first day I saw him take batting practice, which was 3 days ago, he looked like he was swinging, but not really trusting that backside. Really looked like he was pulling more with his upper body and his left arm. Yesterday, he looked a little bit more comfortable. Today, he looked like a guy who was ready to go.
Well, he's ready to go, and especially against Jonathan Neese. Stanton has 4 career homers against this lefty. But the rest of the Marlins have struggled against Neese, obviously, when he was a Met. Look at this. In Marlins Park, he's a perfect 3-0 in 5 starts.
Neese is one of those guys that's a very smart, intelligent pitcher. He will use your aggressiveness against you. He changes zones. He's got a good curveball. I look for him to try to copy what Jeff Locke did 2 nights ago.
All right. Now the Marlins counter with the lefty as well. Adam Conley's had a couple of bumps in the road, but the lefty gets a look at the Pirates for the very first time. And you can see the latest bump, a 4 1/3 inning outing against the Atlanta Braves.
Well, I think Conley's been getting a little bit better each time out lately. For me, he can't walk guys. He can't hit batters. And I think when he does that, his rhythm is better. His pace is a little bit quicker. And I look for more fastball strikes early in the game from him.
Adam Conley takes aim at a very potent Pittsburgh lineup. And the Marlins have their big bat back. Giancarlo Stanton and the Fish and the Pirates tangle in Game 3 tonight. is the presenting sponsor of Marlins Baseball. Preston, I'm getting one of those for you for Christmas.
I'd love it.
Oh, Marlins Park, welcome back to Miami. Let's head out to center field. Jeff Conine and Craig Minervini. Guys.
Rich, the Marlins will get a lift, I think, from Giancarlo Stanton, kind of like that guy there with the power water in the lineup here tonight. Missed the last 7 games. What does it mean for Miami?
Well, when you look at what Giancarlo means to this franchise and what he means in the scope of baseball, he's one of the most prolific power hitters of this generation right now. So just to have him in the lineup and have that presence at number 5 spot tonight, I think could affect everyone around him and in the way they pitch the Marlins, the whole lineup.
Sore right side. Don Mattingly on getting his big slugger back.
You know, again, I think we went through that same type of protocol we did with Yelly, where you got feeling better, had him available to pinch hit. Actually, never had to pinch hit, but was available 2 days in a row there, and where he's comfortable enough to know that we could go back out there. So it's a good feeling to have him back in there.
A 320 lineup, rather 320 average against Pittsburgh in his career. It's just big to have his name back in there, and in that number 5 spot's interesting too.
It is interesting, but the way the guys are swinging above him, Yelich and Ozuna and JT, I think it'll be plenty of opportunities for him to drive in runs tonight.
All right, we'll get Giancarlo's the thought on him anyway from Don Mattingly, batting 5th later in the ball game. But right now it's time for the first pitch coming up as we get Adam Conley taking on Jonathan Neese in the game that's going to give one of these teams a 2-1 lead heading into the final of the series tomorrow. It's a good matchup on Fox Sports Florida. It is next.
He is back. Giancarlo Stanton on his way out to right field as the Marlins and the Pirates collide. A Pirate blowout in Game 1, a nail-biter win for the Fish last night. This is Game 3, and this is Clint Hurdle's lineup, brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine.
Leading off, Jordy Mercer, Andrew McCutchen is second. David Freese gets the start at third tonight, batting third. Starling Marte is in left, batting fourth. Francisco Cervelli is fifth. Josh Harrison is sixth, playing second base. Sean Rodriguez is seventh, playing right field. He moves all over the place. John Jaso is playing first, batting eighth. And Jonathan Neese is the pitcher.
Adam Conley, start number 11. And you see the numbers there. We pointed out his last start didn't go quite well in Atlanta. Gave up just 2 runs, but lasted 4 1/3. He has never faced the Pittsburgh Pirates. Miami defensively behind him. You heard Jeff Conine crowing about the plays last night of Adeiny Echeverria. Southwest Airlines completes the defense with Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton in the outfield. Echeverria joined by Derek Dietrich up the middle. Chris Johnson, a start against the lefty Neese. He's at first. Martin Prado, a night off last night, back at third, and JT Realmuto behind the plates. And Conley, who just turned 26 this past week, out of Olympia, Washington. And he'll get Jordy Mercer, Andrew McCutchen, and David Freese with Stanton back in right field. First pitch fastball misses inside. A look at Mercer, who got the start last night. Hit in the 8th spot last night, was 0 for 3. Couple of Pirate lineup notes. Gregory Polanco fouled the pitch off his foot last night, and it was causing him great discomfort today, so he's not in the starting lineup. Jung Ho Gung as well. Clint Hurdle likes to give him a day off every now and then. Remember, he's coming off of a knee surgery in the offseason. So those 2 bats not in there, but plenty of potent bats for Conley to run into tonight. And he misses away with a fastball. Just missed in. Conley thought he caught the corner. And he's gone to 3-2 against Jordy Mercer. He missed by a good margin. And he walks the leadoff man. After getting out in front, Jordy Mercer is aboard. Walks have been an issue for Conley. That's his 25th. And this is start number 11. And he had that start with all the walks. 3 of them were intentional, but he walked 7 in that loss to the Nationals. Andrew McCutchen, and this is a lineup where if you put guys on base, you can pay the price. McCutchen with David Freese, Starling Marte to follow. First pitch swing, popped foul, and out of play.
Well, especially with a lineup like this, because they run so well, and they're opportunistic on the bases. So when you start adding extra base runners without making them swing the bat, you're opening yourself up and your defense up to a lot of pressure.
Second in stolen bases. Only Milwaukee has swiped more. Conley comes in with a strike. Now these 2 teams are very good against left-handed pitchers, left-handed starters in particular. The Marlins are 7-2. The Pirates are 7-3. And both are in the top 4 in terms of batting average against lefties. Pirates 3rd, Miami 4th. Mercer at first base. 0-2 comes, and it's in to McCutchen, who's not hit lefties like you would expect. A .238 average, so he has homered 3 times. Bouncer over the mound. Dietrich has it onto first in time. For Derek Dietrich, that must have taken a long time as he waited and waited, thinking double play all the way.
That's one of those plays where if the ball has to be transferred to one of the middle infielders from the other, you don't get that double play. But since Dietrich was able to catch the ball standing on the base, he's able to turn that double play. Because that ball, if it's hit not right on the bag, you're only going to get one with McCutchen.
So Miami gets 2, and here's Freese, who lit the Marlins up the other night with 4 hits in the series opener. And although Gregory Polanco's not in the lineup, and he just kills it in this building, David Freese is pretty darn good here as well. He's played 7 career games here. He's 16 for 30 with 4 doubles, a homer, and 8 RBIs. Slider in, 2-1.
I'm just impressed at how well Freese hits the ball down in the zone. You know, he's got lefties usually hit the ball down better than righties. He's one of the rare righties that loves it down.
I was talking to Justin Nicolino yesterday about that fact. It was Nicolino who started game 1 and did not pitch that poorly, but Freese got him for a double and an RBI single. Conley walks another. And so Adam Conley having some issues dialing it in. Here comes Starling Marte. Down around the batting cage today, you have a chance to run into coaching staffs from both teams. And one popular topic was bat speed. And Starling Marte seemed to be the guy that was the trending topic in that discussion.
He's got a quick bat. You know, McCutchen has a very quick bat as well, but Starling Marte, he does some things that are kind of eye-popping. The way he runs the bases, his outfield play. You know, there's some in baseball that think Starling Marte is actually a better center fielder than McCutchen.
Down that right field line, Stanton, a long run, and it's going to land close to the seats and bounce out of play. This ball game just underway. If you have just tuned in and you see Stanton on your screen, for many of you, there's a sigh of relief that Giancarlo is back. Another good batting practice session today. Tom Mattingly put him in the lineup, but also wanted to see batting practice just to reinforce that, which Stanton did. Ball and a strike to Starling Marte. Counts 1-2. Pirates at 29-22 after the loss last night. Miami improving to 27-25. That's a foul ball. Not by much, but foul. The Phillies have lost 5 straight, and so they're at an even 500. Miami 4.5 behind the Nationals. The Mets lost today in 13 innings to the White Sox. And so the Marlins are now 2 back of the Mets, and they can get even closer if they can win this ball game. The Mets are here, of course, on Friday night for a 3-game weekend series. A 1-2 is in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's like just down and just in a little bit.
Yep. So far, James Hoy, the home plate umpire, has been on it. Chad Fairchild, Jim Joyce, Marvin Hudson on the bases. That is a swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. 2 walks, no worries for Adam Conley, scoreless in the first. Florida brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Warren Henry, now celebrating our 40th year as Miami's best luxury dealer. By your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. All right, scoreless bottom of the first. And here comes Miami's lineup, and it's brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine.
JT Realmuto, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna's in the cleanup spot. Back is Giancarlo Stanton. Chris Johnson's batting 6th. Derek Dietrich 7th. Adeiny Echeverria is 8th. And Adam Conley is towing the rubber.
Jonathan Neese, or John, out of Defiance, Ohio, 29 years old. A Met for a while, 6 years in that Mets rotation. And he catches a corner for a strike. Neese traded to Pittsburgh in December this past winter when Daniel Murphy split the Mets. They went after Neil Walker, and the price was Jonathan Neese. Kind of a back end of the rotation guy. He's got 5 wins, 2 losses, and a 4.42 ERA. Realmuto gets the bat around. Marte makes the catch. And so an out here in the first. Southwest brings you the Pirates defensively. Some versatility out there. Marte in left, McCutcheon in center. Yes, Sean Rodriguez plays everywhere. He's in right. John Jaso finds himself at first base. David Freese at third base. Jordy Mercer, Josh Harrison, and behind the plate, Francisco Cervelli. Marlins are hopeful that a night off will kickstart Martin Prado. He was hitting .381 on May 16th. In his last 14 games, he's hit .167. Prado has seen plenty of Neese with their time on different National League East opponents. Not great numbers for Prado, but there are other Marlins up and down the lineup that have individual success against Neese. As we illustrated from the very top of the show, Neese against the Marlins lately has been really, really good. Yep, that night off did him a world of good. Martin Prado with a solid knock up the middle. And Miami has a base runner here in the first.
This ball gets the middle of the plate. Martin Prado does what Martin Prado does. Hits the ball right back up the middle. Stays in the big part of the field with that nice, short, compact stroke.
Here comes Christian Yelich. All right, Preston Wilson. Jeff Locke threw his first career complete game shutout against the Fish on Monday. Is Neese a different pitcher? And if not, where do the Marlins have to change in their approach?
Neese is actually a little bit more polished, I think. He's been around a little bit more. He's a little bit more crafty. But I think they are similar. You see that fastball at 86. He threw a fastball before to Prado at 89. So he will change speeds with his fastball. I think his curveball is actually pretty good. So I look for him to try to, you know, copy what Locke did.
All right, Auto Nation will fill out a little broader scouting report. What you got?
Well, hey, he's a formidable foe. Familiar foe. Then road bumps. Well, if he gives up a home run, it's usually going to be on the road. 10 of his 12 home runs have been on the road, and he's a bulldog. He's a competitor, so he's got to check his emotions.
Slowly hit out there. Safe there. That was closer than you thought. I don't know if Yelich slipped out of the box, but Mercer was waiting, much like the Dietrich play. And once he got it, he made it close at first. So fielder's choice. The wrinkle with Stanton coming back into the Marlins lineup is he's not hitting cleanup. Tom Mattingly has him behind Marcell Ozuna. And so Stanton is hitting 5th. Ozuna in the cleanup spot. 0 for 6 in the series is Ozuna. Throw to first, Yelich back. Ozuna had a couple streaks ended Monday night in the 10-0 Pittsburgh win. He had an 11-game hit streak, and he was on base in 36 consecutive ball games. Dumps that to right, and Rodriguez is there and makes a running catch. Miami leaves a runner. This game is underway and scoreless.
Marlins Baseball es presentado en español vía SAP por West Kendall Toyota.
No doubt checking in on MLB at bats, much like Preston Wilson.
Oh yeah, always have it up. Got to see what's going on around the league. Maybe check some exit speed, velocity coming off the bats on here.
Stop it. Francisco Cervelli, Josh Harrison, Sean Rodriguez, and Adam Conley throws a strike, and we'll see if Adam Conley can zero in on the plate a little better than he did in the first. He walked 2, got a double play and a strikeout. Cervelli up in the 5 spot. That's a great pitch for Conley. That slider that ends up close to the shoe tops of the right-handed hitter. Conley, a closer his first couple of seasons in the Palouse, which is the barren wheat field type area in southeast Washington, home of Washington State. Cervelli, hands up, bat up, telling the home plate umpire no, and still barking right now at James Hoy.
It's kind of odd for a catcher to be barking in his first at bat. Usually those guys are a little bit more judicious with their arguing because they got to get calls for their pitcher out there.
Josh Harrison calling timeout. We've seen that with some opponents of Conley this year. Conley likes to work quickly, and some opponents would like him to slow down. Harrison takes up. Josh Harrison busy in this series, 4 for 8, a double, stolen base. Got the old school Pirate socks going. Kind of got a road gray look with the shoes.
Representing the Steel City with those shoes.
Love the socks. I like the high pants and the low stirrups. Actually, they're not stirrups. They're solid all the way down. But whenever you got the stripes going, that's a really nice touch as well. This is going to be a long run for Johnson and Dietrich, and neither gets there. Dietrich made a slide at the end and got a piece of it. Count 2-2.
This is in that Bermuda Triangle, right at each player's furthest point. Johnson, Dietrich, and Stanton all are kind of converging at the same area, and just a well-placed ball.
So it's 2-2 to Harrison. And down he goes. Conley has struck out the last 3 he's faced. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Rich, you're going to talk a little lefty-righty, so stay with me here. And it makes sense. Most lefty starters have more trouble against right-handed hitters. The average in the major leagues, 256 for righties against lefties, 17 points less against lefties. So what is with Adam Conley? His numbers are reversed. In fact, no one in baseball, talking about lefty starters, has a bigger differential than what you see in the top line there. 168 points. The next guy is Steven Matz, 82-point difference. Better against righties than lefties. Why? Well, some people think it's that great slider that Conley's able to throw kind of across his body, gets down and in on the right-handers, and he has tremendous success against the righties, as evidenced by that 232. But you look at those career numbers, and it's a little alarming that lefties are hitting 350 in his young career against him, but righties just 245. Probably something he'd like to work on, but don't forget you're facing a lot more righties too, and if you could have your pick there, you'd probably have the numbers like Conley has, with probably a 3-to-1 difference at least with righties facing him than lefties. You got any thoughts on it, Preston?
Yeah, when I look at Conley, he looks like a guy who's got that nice loose arm motion, and he can, he can get the ball, sneak it in on righties because he kind of hides a little bit. He slings it around the corner. I think lefties, on the other hand, really only have to contend with 2 pitches. It's a fastball and a slider. So, and if he leaves the ball up, he can be hit.
Well, how about that? Adam Conley strikes out the side. He's punched out 4 straight. Giancarlo, after a week's absence, will lead it off in the bottom of the second. Barry Bonds paying close attention as Giancarlo Stanton settles in the box. Chris Johnson, Derek Dietrich. Stanton leads it off and goes after the first pitch, dribbles it up the first baseline, and it's foul. Outside the telecast, we told you he's had success against Jonathan Neese. So this is a good jumping on point for Stanton. 29 at bats, 4 homers, and a dozen hits. Infield playing him to pull. Breaking ball in, and it will be interesting to see how Nice attacks him.
Well, they got that infield slung all the way around with that shift, so you know they're going to try to keep him on the ground till pulled. So they're going to try to change speeds, keep the ball down, because they don't want him to get extended, especially on fastballs away. He does a really good job, fastballs middle of the plate away, driving them deep to the other side of the ballpark.
Strike it, it's 2-2.
Fastball in. Great spot.
Ooh. That's a pretty good looking pitch. It looked like it had plenty of the plate. The only question was at the knees or below it.
That's close.
And that's really close. You saw the look of frustration on Nice's face. Let's see where he goes. 3-2. That one fouled off his foot. All right, you want Nice and Stanton. 2013, he had a couple in the same game. 3-2. It's in. Stanton walks. He actually has a 3-game hit streak coming into this ball game. And he arrives at first base. Chris Johnson, Derek Dietrich, and Danny Echeverria now as the Marlins try to get on the board first. Johnson settles in, and he has had individual success against this lefty. Pretty good sample size as well. See his season numbers, couple hits in this series. 10 for 27, that's a 370 clip against Nice.
Nice working down and in, worked into Stanton. That ball, like it had a little bit of cut on it, 86 miles an hour. We saw his fastball earlier, 89, 90, so we kind of cut that one a little bit, trying to get in under the hands, maybe jam him, get a ground ball for a double play.
Johnson shoots it foul, and it's 1-2. Well, the Pirates came in here trying to hunt down the incredibly hot Chicago Cubs, and as it stands tonight, the Cubs still hot, still on top of the division. That's into center field and a base hit. Stanton will stop at second. McCutchen has it. And Miami, a pair of runners aboard and nobody out in the second.
Johnson seems to be turning it around a little bit. He swung the bat well the last start he had a couple of hits, couple of hard hit balls, and wow, that's a good swing. Ball's up a little bit, stays with it, drives it back up the box. That's a good sign when you see Johnson swinging the bat like that, because he's a guy that can make this lineup, this bench, when he's not starting, really, really deep.
Derek Dietrich, and a slider misses away. Nice against lefties, 226, and he's given up a pair of home runs. Dietrich against lefties, actually 296, has not homered in 27 at bats. A little extra time for Dietrich. And you see the lefty-righty splits.
Man, that's actually really good. You know, he's grown as a hitter. He may not be swinging for as much power against the lefties, but he's staying on it, going the other way, taking what they give him.
Gets on top of that, and it's 1-2. Cubs tonight are home against the Dodgers. Chicago's 20 over at 35-15. Pirates 6.5 behind him. Told you the Mets have lost. That's good news for the Fish. Nationals lead the Phillies 1-0, bottom second. Dietrich pulls a ground ball. Harrison to his left, bobbles it, kicks it, and safe at first. Stanton will hold at third. John Jaso didn't come up with it cleanly. Dietrich may have been safe regardless of if the Pirates' first baseman had caught the ball. That was a close play.
Very close play. Harrison has a long way to go for this one. The ball looks like it kicked up on him right at the end. Couldn't handle it. Recovers, then gets off a throw, and I don't know if Jaso would have had it in time even if he had caught it cleanly. That's a close play.
You know what? They've given the error to Harrison. You could give the error easily to Jaso.
That's true. Because that throw might have been there in time. You don't know.
Harrison has had his struggles defensively. Here's Echeverria. This is an enormous at bat early in the ball game. Echeverria finds himself in this spot a lot because he hits 8. You got Conley on deck, bags loaded, infield back. Echeverria chopper to third, coming home to get the out there is Freeze. And the bags remain loaded, but it's Conley who's coming up.
That's just one of those situations where you're not thinking correctly as a hitter. The last thing you want to do is hit the ball to the third baseman. They're giving you an RBI. You got one job right here, to not swing at the ball on the inside corner of the plate. They're giving you an RBI. You can hit a ground ball to second base, you're going to get an RBI. You're going to hit a ground ball to shortstop, you're going to get an RBI. That's the one place on the field where you can't afford to hit the ball. You're right there. Even if it could be a strike, but just if it's strike one and you have to take it, so what? You have to find a pitch in that at bat to at least have a chance at doing your job.
Conley takes a strike. Now a ground ball could end the inning and Miami could come up empty. And he's thinking strikeout with Conley. He's not struck anyone out. He's walked just one.
And I wouldn't be saying it any different even if he hit the ball hard. If he hit that ball hard, one hop smash to third base, I would still feel the same way. Because that's the one area you want to avoid when everybody else is playing back. That's why he threw him that pitch, to try to get him to pull the ball.
Conley laid on the fastball. That's why the Echeverria at bat was so important. Now there's 2 outs. And it's Real Muto. Tomorrow night this series ends. It's law enforcement night as well. Seniors 55 and older can get free tickets with an ID on Senior Free Ticket Thursdays, presented by Wellmax Medical Centers. For more info, go to marlins.com. We have to find out what law enforcement night is all about. There's no details for that. It's like a mystery promotion.
Yeah, we do need details. Unless it's a clandestine law enforcement night, and nobody's ever going to know, Rich.
You mean they're undercover?
Yes, yeah.
Undercover law enforcement night?
Yeah. You know, they're working, but they never know. You never tell them. They could be dressed as blue seats. Who knows?
Here's a 0-1 pitch. And it's in. He counts a ball and a strike. Real Muto lined to left back in the first. JT, though, last night had a nice night against Garrett Cole. He was 3 for 4. One and 2. Bags loaded, 2 outs. And Jonathan Neese pitches out of a bases loaded, nobody out spot. Moves for the Marlins. This was last night. Edwin Jackson designated for assignment, and Mike Dunn off the disabled list. Marlins now with a lefty in the pen and a guy that throws hard, and that's Dunn. This afternoon, Jose Urena was sent to New Orleans, and Cody Hall, whom the Marlins signed from the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. He was a San Francisco Giant draft pick. Cody Hall is here and in Miami's bullpen. Hi! John Jaso, John Neese, Jordy Mercer in the third against Adam Conley, who has struck out 3 straight. That one lined into the seats. Preston, you'll be happy to know that tomorrow night is National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund Night.
Okay.
The Marlins and law enforcement officers and fans out there can all contribute to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund.
Oh, all right.
That's all part of the ticket price for tomorrow night, the VIP special event package. Marlins and Pirates on a Thursday night. Pitch misses in. And a little later on this weekend, it's Water Safety Awareness Day. 1-2. Conley snares it with that long reach and gets Jaso at first. And Adam Conley starting to settle into this ball game now.
You know, we talked about the lefties being so comfortable against him. I think that pitch before the ball that got put in play is going to be big for him against lefties. You got to pitch lefties in when you're a left-handed pitcher. Keep him from being so comfortable hanging over the plate, staying on your breaking ball. He pitches more lefties in. I think those numbers are going to come down.
Neese now takes a strike. And one more announcement. Bark at the Park this weekend.
All right.
On Sunday against the Mets. Everybody loves Bark at the Park. Jessica Blaylock, I'm sure, will be bringing Lemon, the media darling Pooch, who last year snarled and growled at Craig.
Yes, he was not happy.
Yes, that's on Sunday.
Would you say Lemon was a little sour, Rich?
I would not say that. You might, but I would not.
I'm sweating already thinking of Lemon.
There you go.
Vicious.
Oh, what, 4 pounds of lemon?
So come on out, Bark at the Park. Oh, don't shake. It's all right. It's selfie time.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good-looking dog.
Marlins always have a great attendance for Bark at the Park. Wait a minute. What's up with those sound effects? I thought I heard a horse in there.
Just a really big dog, Rich.
Jordy Mercer's up. First time through for Adam Conley. Strikes out 5. He walks 2. And that double play grounder really helped him in the first. He's dealing pretty well right now. Mercer walked to open the ball game. Yeah, Mets here on Friday night. Remember, Saturday's a 4 o'clock game. Sunday a 1 o'clock game. Yeah, there you go. A little throwback to his Pirate days. Cap 2-2. That one fouled at the plate. By the way, you saw that Bonds jersey. There's a really fascinating read about Bonds, written by Terrence Moore, the fine journalist out of Atlanta. Sports on Earth is the website. You should check it out. That one into the corner and foul. Talked to Terrence Moore when we were in Atlanta, and he was there all 3 days, and he and Bonds had some long conversations. Had some really fascinating stuff about Bonds' career. I recommend you read it. Sports on Earth. Two. Smoke to left. Yelich makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 for Conley in the third.
Stanton playing for the first time in 8 games tonight, batting 5th for the first time this season. Here's Don Mattingly.
Yeah, Ozzy's been basically on fire, and and Giancarlo hadn't played in a week, so I think it seems like it still puts us in a good position. It pushes us, deeper down the line. So still feel like he's going to get plenty of opportunities to drive in runs there. There are going to be people out there the way Yelly and Oz are swinging.
Stanton has batted 5th only 82 times in his career, and not since 2012. We'll see if he can get up this inning. Actually, this inning, he'll be the cleanup man.
All right, thank you, Craig. Stanton walking in his first at bat. The Marlins loaded the bases against John Neese in the second, but a Danny Echeverria bounced into a fielder's choice, and then Neese struck out Adam Conley and JT Realmuto. Right back to him. Prado, who singled in the first, is out number 1 in the third. Before Christian Yelich arrives, the legal portion of the telecast, which is presented by the authority of the Marlins, may not be reproduced, retransmitted. Any form, counts, descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins or the Commissioner of Baseball. The disclaimer used to sound much more official 30 years ago when Kurt Gowdy read it, because he would invoke the Commissioner of Baseball.
Yes.
And as a kid growing up, when I heard that, I thought to myself, I don't want to end up on the wrong side of the Commissioner of Baseball. I don't want Bowie Kuhn coming after me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bowie Kuhn was a scary guy to begin with, and there would be no retransmitting or disseminating the game of the week. Yelich takes down low.
There were a whole bunch of people running to the TV, unplugging their VCR at that point, Rich. That was back when they had VCRs. Everybody,
Yes.
yeah.
And that's back when you were watching, I'm sure, the Saturday game of the week.
Yes.
Although I'll be honest, Saturday game of the week was on the schedule, but usually had a ball game. But earlier than that was This Week in Baseball.
Oh, Mel Allen.
With Mel Allen, and that's how a generation got their baseball highlights.
They had the This Week in Baseball, the TWIP notes.
Yelich gets into that one, hits it deep. Marte looking up, and it's off the wall. Yelich around first. Almost had that look like he thought it was going out, and it almost did. It's a double, a one-out double for Christian Yelich.
Oh, what a swing this young man has. Look at that nice, easy stroke. Lets that ball get deep. That ball's middle in, and he lets it get deep in there, pulls those hands through, and strokes it out off the left field wall. Marte does a good job playing at one hop, but it's not supposed to be that easy to swing that effortlessly and hit a ball off the wall the other way. Head just buried on contact.
Now Ozuna. And Nice buries a breaking ball under his hands.
Yeah, Nice has done a good job. He's changed speeds with that semi-slider. He'll cut it, and it'll be 86, 87. Then he'll bring a little bit of bigger break like that one at 84. That's that veteran craftiness sneaking into the arsenal of Nice, knowing that he can use the same pitch and make it more than one pitch just by changing speeds a little bit.
Pirates are 7-3 in games that he starts. Ozuna, and again, that's a pitch that a right-hand hitter cannot hit fair.
And whenever a lefty has a little short cutter or a half slider, what I used to call a half slider, you have to be aware of that. And you really have to force the ball on the other side of the plate, you know, and really, until 2 strikes, try not to even out for it anything on that side.
That is the little cutter that came back and caught the outside corner.
That's what those first 2 pitches do. It opened it up. He saw that Ozuna was swinging at those balls that far off the plate inside. So now he knows that there's no way he can make contact with those pitches and still be able to react on the ball on the far edge of the plate.
And he's pounded Stanton in. That one a strike. And it's 0-1. Yelich still at second. 3 infielders on the third base side for Stanton. He takes a shot at the right side. In watching Stanton's batting practice all 3 nights, he spent a lot of time on a nice easy swing with line drives to right center, right field, center field. He went. Chad Fairchild brings up Giancarlo Stanton, who couldn't hold, and the Marlins leave Yelich out in scoring position. Nice escapes again. Down, and it's presented by Altogether Now La Lechonera. That's See, you know, some announcers call the game from like the bleachers. That's where we need to call the game from.
Wow.
Right? I mean, pick out the best cruise ship around, call the folks at Royal Caribbean, and we're right there.
La Lechonera. Rich, that's one of my favorite parts of the broadcast, hearing you say that, because you say it with such passion.
I worked on that all spring training, Press. Eduardo Perez helped me with that. It's the announcer's equivalent of running polls in the outfield. To left, and Yelich is there. Andrew McCutchen lines out. Adam Conley so far in 3 1/3 innings. No hits, 5 strikeouts, and a couple of walks. Tomorrow night, this 4-gamer ends. Tim Wallach will be there. Join him. And join Craig and Jeff. The former Expo great, who we determined, I even went to Jonah Carey on this, who's certainly the expert on all things Expos, that if the Expos were still in circulation, still going, they would have retired Tim Wallach's number by now. Conley has to go a long way and got him at first. David Freese just out. Conley falling away. Still had enough on it to just get him.
It's a difficult stretch for Johnson because he was following the play, so he was trying to figure out where the throw was coming from. And you see he's got his glove side leg on the bag, which is a little unusual because it's a shorter stretch. If you have your throwing side leg on the bag, you can get further out there. But he got it. At least he was on the bag and got his glove out there to make that play.
Starling Marte now. Conley 55 pitches in. And Marte takes a fastball up. Having watched the Pirates now for 2+ games, you can't help but be impressed with their everyday lineup and the versatility that Clint Hurdle has with a Rodriguez and a Freese and a Jaso. There are not a lot of breathers in their everyday lineup. Remember, Polanco's out with a sore foot. Gung is getting a night off. Counts 1-2. The question will be, can the Pirates get better starting pitching than they've received so far this year? Last year they were pretty darn good with a 3.21 ERA. This year the ERA is well over 4.
When you're playing in that NL Central Division, the hotbed that it is, you have to pitch. Because there are some teams in there, Chicago, St. Louis, they find pitching somehow. And you got to be able to compete with them on the mound as well as in the batter's box.
Conley buries that slider in a 1-2-3 inning. That's a 10-pitch inning. Got 6 strikeouts and 4 no-hit innings. Florida is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Checkers Fast Foodies, know the deal. And by your South Florida Chevy dealers. First National League All-Star voting came out today. As you would expect, lots of Cubs with the year they're having and the fan base they have. They dominated that first ballot. Johnson up. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Anthony Rizzo, nearby Parkland, Florida, leading all first baseman. Johnson, exactly what he did in the second. Hard shot up the middle, and he's 2 for 2. Ben Zobrist leads at second base. Daniel Murphy is second. Chris Bryant leads at third base. Addison Russell, who doesn't deserve it, but probably won't win. You got Trevor Story right on his tail. Addison Russell is the leader at short. In the outfield, Bryce Harper, Dexter Fowler, Yoenis Cespedes. The only Marlin that appears on the list is Giancarlo Stanton. He's 12th among outfielders. Yadier Molina, the Cardinals, a narrow lead over Buster Posey of the Giants. Dietrich's ground ball mishandled by Harrison, dropped by Jaso. McCutchen scampers in and makes the catch. And that play actually was scored E4. It's been changed to E3. I know a lot of you keep score. A lot of you want to keep your books neat and tidy, like Preston Wilson.
The operative word being want to. Want to. I want to keep mine tidy, Rich.
Here's Echeverria. Big at bat in the second. John Neese was able to jam Echeverria with the bags loaded. He hit a slow tapper to David Freese, who got the out at home plate. Pirates were conceding a run with the ball in play out past the mound or even to the right side. Adam Conley would strike out, and then Real Muto struck out, and the Marlins left him loaded. A liner. Mercer got the out at first. Johnson with a head first slide. Echeverria barreled it up. Neese gets a double play, and through 4, it's scoreless. And Marlins. Fireworks Friday on Friday night. Yes, Mets are here, fireworks are here, and the Budweiser burger and beer package is just $25. Get a bullpen reserve ticket, a specialty burger, and a 16-ounce Bud. Enjoy fireworks after the game. Visit Marlins.com for more info. Adam Conley goes back to work in the 5th. Francisco Cervelli, Josh Harrison, and Sean Rodriguez. All three struck out in the 2nd, and they're lined up here in the 5th. Remember, when Cervelli struck out in the 2nd, he and James Hoy had beef. Must be fascinating for a guy like Real Muto to listen to one catcher or the other catcher talk to the umpire, because I'm sure the dialogue consists of the last at bat, this at bat, and probably a few other at bats when Cervelli was behind the plate. Slider misses in. It's 2-2. In the American League tonight in Baltimore, Boston and Baltimore are tied at 5 apiece. Mookie Betts has hit 2 home runs. Last night, Mookie Betts hit 3.
That's quite a tear to hit 3 home runs one night and follow that up with a 2 home run effort the very next night.
I'm sure when Mookie Betts became a Boston Red Sox, there were some Red Sox fans that were afraid he was named after your father.
You know what? And that's not a very welcome thing in Boston. In New York, it's great. But to hear Mookie in Boston, they really don't care for that.
3-2 coming to Cervelli, and he walked him. So Conley walks Cervelli. T-Mobile brings you greater coverage of baseball, just to document what Betts did last night. 3 homers last night. Charlie Blackmon stays hot. Hit his first career grand slam. 17-4 at Coors Field. Jake Arrieta, it's the first Cubs loss in his last 24 starts. Though he was terrific, 7 innings, no runs, and 8 strikeouts. The fine fans of Boston, though, were happy to hear that it was not your father he was named after. It was Mookie Blaylock, the former NBA guard. I believe most of his significant work was with the Atlanta Hawks. Mookie Blaylock, not only the inspiration for Mookie Betts, but also it was one of the first names for the Seattle-based group Pearl Jam. They were big basketball fans. They liked Mookie Blaylock a lot as well. Yelich is there. He makes the catch.
Ex-Marlins manager Redmond is from that area. He has a son whose nickname is Mookie as well.
Really?
Yes.
There you go.
That would be Mike Redmond, not Mark Redmond, the left-handed pitcher.
Here's Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez struck out back in the 2nd. And a sharp slider, and that pitch has been a really good one for Conley against the right-handed bats. Craig Minervini documented the success Conley has had against right-handed hitters and how lefties have actually hit him. A little further research by our baseball historian tonight, Steve LeBeau. Last year in the minor leagues for Conley, those splits were pretty consistent. Righties hit just under 200, 198, and lefties hit just under 300, 294.
I think that will change a little bit when he starts pitching lefties in a little bit more. I think that has a lot to do with it. Righties have the same thing when they face right-handed batters. If they don't ever throw in the righties, that same side batter can kind of hang out over the plate and take away that outside part of the plate from him.
Runner goes, fouled at the plate.
Oh, Hurdle trying to force the action a little bit. Got a pitcher that's been tough on you. Do a little hit and run action with Cervelli and Sean Rodriguez. I like that.
Now Cervelli, who slid in second, wasn't going to take Derek Dietrich's word that it was a foul ball. That's a common ploy in the lower levels, and even in the major leagues, guys will try that every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Always ask an umpire.
As Jay-Z would say, we don't believe you. We need more people. We don't trust your word on this.
Got him. Tied him up. It starts out over the plate. It ends up down around the right knee.
This is a tough pitch because it breaks late and it breaks hard, and it's just chasing your hands. You can't quite get the barrel there because the ball is running up your bat.
John Chaso now with Cervelli still at first. Nice on deck. Well, Conley pitched everybody a little too far inside his last start. He hit 3 batters.
But it's necessary to throw in there. And even though he hit guys from the waist down.
Yes, that's a great point. Actually, one was about just below the waist. The other were 2 down around the feet.
So he's not head hunting. He's just trying to, and I think he's aware of it. He's aware that lefties are hitting better off of him. So he does have to try to control some space, some real estate on the inside half of that plate and even off the plate inside.
Cervelli can run. He's got 3 stolen bases. As we've told you, the Pirates are aggressive. They're second in the National League to Milwaukee in stolen bases. Very quick slide step delivery from Conley. It's 0-2. Seven strikeouts, 3 walks. And he got him with a fastball. 8 strikeouts through 5. Conley is throwing up zeros. Pirates still looking for a hit. Both teams looking for a run. in Miami. An All-Star Saturday is coming up on Saturday. Mets, Marlins, Mikey Lowell bobblehead night. First 10,000 fans get one. It's courtesy of Leon Medical Centers. Go to marlins.com for tickets. Adam Conley in the box against John Neese. Gets a knee-high strike to open up the bottom of the fifth. JT Realmuto and Martin Prado. Miami has 4 hits. And obviously without a run. Outside corner. That was quick. That is Rennie Stennett, infielder with the Pirates and a little time with the Giants.
Oh, I remember him.
He had a 7-for-7 day back in 1975.
That's a great day. That's a week for some people. 7 hits.
Here's Realmuto. Neese misses low and in. Well, though John Neese has given up 4 hits, he's made pitches when he's needed them. That is fair and into the corner. Realmuto is off and racing. Marte plays it on a carom, and Miami has a 1-out double.
Neese here with that changeup grip. Ball's tailing down. Realmuto does a great job staying on that. Continue to swing. Even though you're a little out front, you keep that swing going. Look at that, nice and relaxed. Places it down the line, and the way he runs, that's an easy stand-up double.
Now this is where Neese has gotten tough. Bags loaded, nobody out, got out of it in the second. 1-out double in the third. No worries. He struck out Ozuna and Stanton to end the inning. Leadoff single in the fourth. How about a line drive double play to erase that?
Well, the Marlins definitely have to do better with runners in scoring position against this Pirates pitching staff. Tonight, they're 0 for 6.
Prado is 1 for 2. Checks his swing.
Prado's seen that cutter a couple times. He's looking for something middle away. Every now and then Neese will surprise you with a straight fastball or a 2-seamer in there, but more often than not, it's going to be that little cutter that he tries to run in under your hands.
Into right field, that's a base hit. Charging is Rodriguez, holding is Realmuto. Ball pops out of Jaso's glove, and Prado holds it first. Rodriguez was not playing deep, and he got to the ball quickly. Here's a look.
Yeah, he wasn't playing that deep. He got there quickly. But the one thing you have to be aware of is that's an infielder who is filling in for an outfielder. Even though Sean Rodriguez is decent in the outfield, he's not going to throw as well. And with the lack of production with men in scoring position, I think that's a 50-50 call for Lenny Harris. Yeah, I think that's a 50-50 call for Lenny Harris, but that shows the importance of an outfielder getting to the ball quickly.
Prado's at first. Realmuto's at third. Now Yelich, who doubled his last time up.
You know, and there's no stat for that. There's no stat for how many times you get to the ball quickly and stop a base runner from going. There's stats for assist, but you know, this outfield has still the markings of a Rusty Kuntz outfield for the Pirates.
Rusty Kuntz, of course, now applying his trade quite famously at first base and with outfield instruction for the world champion Kansas City Royals. See Yelich just above Major League average, trying to get this run home. Miami trying to get on the board first tonight. Oh, no.
I spoke to Andrew McCutchen earlier today, and we talked about Rusty Kuntz and how, you know, you work but you work because it's specific things that you're working on with wrestling. There's always something that he's trying to improve on, and he's taking that over to Kansas City. But those marks are still on this Pittsburgh Pirates organization.
Yelich pulls it up the line.
It stuck with me throughout the years when I had Rusty Kuntz as an outfield instructor, first base coach when I was here as a Marlin. You know, you worked hard, but you had fun, and you always got something out of it. It wasn't just mindless work. You always knew what you were trying to accomplish on that day.
Yelich, check swing, no swing. It's Marvin Hudson umpiring at third. Denise has been out front 0-2. Two balls, two strikes. Another great opportunity for Miami in the fifth. Yelich pulls a bouncer. Jaso's coming home and safe. Real Muto around the tag of Cervelli.
Real Muto got there in a hurry. That ball was pretty sharply hit, one hop to Jaso. And you watch Real Muto getting this jump off third. Oh, as soon as that ball hits the bat, he's moving. Beats the tag, great play. That's what a contact play is there. You got your momentum going. Oh, it keeps that toe down. Oh, that's nice.
He had the same slide last night, remember, a bang-bang play at the plate where he got that toe in right before the glove. Here, the toe's in before the tag on the leg.
Good job.
And, of course, with the throw home, Pirates don't get an out. And here's Ozuna. First and second, one out.
And I want to clarify the difference between the Echeverria bat and the Yelich's bat is it was 2 strikes for Yelich. It's okay to hit that ball with 2 strikes. Even though the infield's drawn in there, first base on the corners, with 2 strikes, you don't have a choice. When it's your first pitch of the at-bat, you got to stay away from that inside part of the plate.
Ozuna trying to go to right field there, and he missed it. It's 1-1.
You know, with 2 strikes, you're just in scramble mode. You're trying to get the ball on the bat somehow. Ozuna's going to have to hopefully model his at bat after what Prado did. Prado took the ball inside, that cutter took the ball inside and waited till he got something in the middle. Veteran hitters tend to pick up those things a little bit quicker because you don't have so much excitement. When you're young, you kind of get that hero complex where you see the guys out there on base and you want to drive them in. I was like that early in my career. I had to learn to calm the heartbeat, calm the mind down, and take it as another at bat, but have the right thought process. And it takes a little bit of time to get there to slow that pulse down.
Full count now, 3-2. Ozuna's flied out, struck out. Stanton's on deck. Martin Prado at second, Christian Yelich at first. Miami has the first run of the game here in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch is out, and Ozuna walks. That is patience. That's discipline and focus. A newfound Marcell Ozuna trots on down to first.
Part of it is a change mentally, but part of it is he's so consistently in the same spot with his approach, with his setup, with his stride, that there's no panic. A lot of times those bad swings late in the count come out of panic. Like you're not ready, you're not quite set where you want to be, so you just fire off a swing because you haven't really seen the ball well. He's so consistent with his setup now that there is no panic. He's seen the ball such a long time. He's so confident now in what he's seeing that he doesn't have to fire off those emergency swings.
Stanton swings and misses. And it's 0-1. Giancarlo walked in the second, struck out in the third. And a chance to do some damage here. There's no place to put him. That pitch was way out. Stanton trying to pull that pitch. And so obviously Nice busts him in. And it's 1-1.
I don't even mind that swing at that first pitch because it's an off-speed pitch and it's away. Those are the easiest pitches to hit in the air if you're staying in that area. And right now, you need a fly ball. You need a deep fly ball at the least. He should be thinking drive the ball off that health sun sign or that forward sign in right center field.
Ball and a strike. And an out. And Nice wants to chat with Francisco Cervelli. We told you at the outset of the telecast, Stanton against Nice. The numbers quite good, including 4 home runs. And maybe that went into the decision as far as the re-entry program for Stanton into the lineup. Don Mattingly said he was available to pinch hit, but did not use him the last 2 nights.
Oh, and I get it. Why bring him back against a Garrett Cole when the next night you got a guy that he feels comfortable with? I get it.
And that includes a walk and a strikeout tonight. 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes.
See, there's that cutter in off the plate. Nice knows what he's doing. He knows what he's got to do to get his job done as a hitter. You have to have the mentality to counteract that. You know he's going to try to beat you in off the plate. You got to be stubborn and just force your eyes out to the other half.
Fastball, and Stanton had one to extend on, and he fouls it off. I don't know that that was where Cervelli and Nice visualized it going.
No, I don't. With 2 strikes, that's definitely not where they were trying to put that one.
Struck it out. Stanton didn't like it.
That ball's, I don't know. That's a tough call to get. That ball's either a perfect pitch or it's off the plate, down and away. I thought Stanton actually had a pretty good at bat right there. Let's see where it ends up. Oh, that's down a little. It's down.
Stanton still barking from the Miami dugout, and I think there's a few other Marlins, including Don Mattingly, who are giving James Hoy an earful.
It was on the plate, but it looked like it was down under the strike zone just a tad.
Here's Johnson now.
That's a big pitch for Nice to get, though. Gets the second out of the inning.
Johnson twice has rifled balls into center field for hits. Bags loaded. Nice has escaped a bunch tonight. Miami still has the first run of the night. Stanton's, who is not a guy that argues balls and strikes much at all. So to see him get that vocal and that angry is significant. In the dirt, kicks away. Here comes Prado, and he will score.
That's one of those Cervelli would love to have back. That one you just kind of got to get the glove out of the way. Instead of trying to scoop it with that little forehand, you just let that ball get off your chest protector. See, watch his glove get right here in the way. It's a tough one because you want to have your glove on the side so it doesn't scoot through, but when it pops up and hits that glove, you don't know where it's going to go. I see a lot of catchers just absorb that off their chest protector.
Well, the Pirates are going to walk Johnson with Dietrich coming up. Dietrich is 0 for 2. Johnson is 2 for 2. So if you do the math, it's not that hard a decision for Clint Hurdle.
And that pitch is going to go down as a wild pitch. That is Nice's 6th of the season.
Well, it hasn't been pretty for the Marlins in a stressful inning for Nice. A fielder's choice and a wild pitch. 2 walks in the inning, 2 strikeouts in the inning. Now Dietrich, who flied to center. A strike at the knees. You've been talking about Adam Conley and his desire to get in against left-handed hitters, which he's trying to develop. Nice has been able to do that to Derek Dietrich. Oh, 2. Dietrich pops it up. Shallow left. Mercer's there and calling and catching. The Marlins get 2 and head to the 6th. Adam Conley back up on the hill with a 2-0 lead. Conley now has 2 runs to work with. And here he goes into the 6th. This date in Marlins history, Geico brings it to you. Pee Wee Briley, Greg Briley, first Marlin to have a multi-homer game. He hit 2 in a win over the Giants in '93.
How about those names? Clemente, Stargell. You know, my first baseball memories of actually watching baseball are that We Are Family team with Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, Madlock,
Rennie Stennett,
Kento Covey, Rennie Stennett.
Cole Figueroa is going to pinch hit here. Pinch a penny presents him.
I believe Candelaria was on that team back in the day.
And a lot of those guys are in the bobblehead museum here. Fastball foul back now to play. If you've not been to the ballpark in Pittsburgh, it really is a treat to go there. Spend 3 or 4 days in Pittsburgh, hang out, go to the ballpark, hang out downtown, go out into the suburbs, head out to the University of Pittsburgh, ride the incline, go to Primonte Brothers.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's fun to go there at least once. I think that's something you should experience at least once. Go there, get your sandwich, you get your fries and slaw or whatever, and everything ends up on your sandwich.
Another great place to go is the Roberto Clemente Museum, which is right downtown. All this terrific memorabilia, documents, pictures of Clemente. And by the way, that is our road trip with the Marlins for the fantasy auction coming up. It's a foul tip. Figueroa is still alive. So on the 23rd of June is the Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction.
Nice.
That is the road trip this year. You can go with the Marlins to Pittsburgh and see the Pirates and the Marlins and do all those cool things. One, two. Figueroa won't go away. Lines that one up into the seats. Jordy Mercer, Andrew McCutchen in the 6th. Conley has struck out 8. Little pop-up. That's been trouble for the Marlins tonight. And Dietrich makes a sliding catch for the first out of the 6th.
Good job. 1-2 count. Gets in on the hands of Figueroa. Can't handle it. Dietrich with a nice running grab here. See Johnson bail out. Dietrich's got it. See him calling for it. Looks it all the way in. Nice job.
Jordy Mercer now has walked and lined out. The career high for Conley in strikeouts is 9. He did that in New York against the Mets in his 2nd start. He also had a 7 strikeout game, and that was in Milwaukee. And that was the ball game where he went 7 2/3 innings, did not give up a hit. But remember, he walked 4 in that ball game. Changeup misses outside. He was pulled with 2 outs, a no-hitter going in the 8th, but he was at 116 pitches. Pop-up is out of play. He was obviously disappointed when he was lifted, but after the ball game, in a very thoughtful and interesting interview on the postgame show, he said that he knew that he was in trouble because he knew his pitch count was up, and that it was his own fault for walking 4, and he felt that prevented him from being able to go for the no-hitter. Well, if you're thinking that way now, just do the math. His pitch count is up to 90. He's walked 3. Breaking ball just off that back foot. Full count, 3-2. Mercer in the leadoff spot tonight.
Johnny, I think righties have a tough time because it is that it's like a snappy, floppy motion that he's got with his arm. It's such a loose arm.
That would be strikeout number 9. That ties his career high. Hang it up there. AT&T high-speed replay. This was that Milwaukee starts.
Look at these feeble swings. Like, that's just not a good swing. That's not seeing the ball very well. And look at that line. 7 2/3, 7 Ks. But the 4 walks and 116 pitches, what caused that early exit?
Gets a swing and a miss from Andrew McCutchen, who's 0 for 2. So 9 punch outs. Andrew McCutchen, who I don't know if he still does that, but a couple of years ago he used to ride his bike to games in Pittsburgh. There's that great trail that runs along the river right next to the ballpark. You would see a lot of players coming in their big fancy cars. McCutchen would roll in on a 10-speed with a backpack on.
Well, you know what it also does is after the game, you don't have to worry about traffic. If you hit those bike trails, you're not worried about traffic because they do close that Clemente Bridge after the game in Pittsburgh. So if you're dependent on going across there on a car, you can't go that way.
That's right. 1-2 into center field. That's a hit. And Ozuna plays it on. A hot first hit of the night for the Pirates. Comes with 2 outs in the 6th. But Adam Conley certainly in control right now. Here comes David Freese.
And it's nice to hear these Miami Marlin fans appreciate it. He just got a nice ovation for going that long without giving up a base hit. I was looking out there, you can see some people standing, everybody was clapping. They recognize that this young man is doing a great job tonight.
Remember, though, the lead is only 2. 2 runs, 6 hits for Miami. Pirates with their first hit. The Fish have left 8. And that's well hit to right. Stanton will have to pick it off the wall. McCutchen is flying towards third. Nice job by Stanton. And the throw comes in. McCutchen is held. Boy, Giancarlo played that perfectly. McCutchen's not real pleased. His throw did miss Dietrich, but Johnson was behind him.
Again, an outfielder getting to the ball quickly makes the third base coach hold up the sign. This is not a great throw, but he got to it quickly and he got it out of his hands, and now the third base coach has to come up with the idea of, look, this has got to the ball quickly. Do I send him with 2 outs? Some guys are going to take that chance, but you can see McCutchen was like, man, why did I not get the go right there?
Yet another double by David Freese, his 11th on the season. And he's one of the hotter Pirates going right now.
One of the hardest things to get a young outfielder to understand is that the best throw sometimes is the one that you don't have to make. And you do that by getting to the ball quickly and taking that decision away from the third base coach.
Well, all this work by Conley could unravel here with one swing of the bat. You've got Marte, who has struck out twice. But McCutchen's 90 feet away. Freese, the tying run, has a huge lead at second. Conley deals strike one.
These are the at-bats where you start looking back and going, man, we had a lot of opportunities. If you're in that Marlins dugout saying we had bases loaded with nobody out, one time we had guys in scoring position. Now in one inning, with one swing of the bat, they can tie the ball game up.
Juan Nieves, Don Mattingly. Miami's pen active. To left, it's well hit in the corner and foul. Just foul.
There's some of that bat speed you were talking about. I like Marte's setup. He gets that foot down early, and then he's got a little rock as you see the ball go down there, down the corner. Just foul. Oh.
The first was stressful. The 6th is stressful. 1-2. Bearclaw is ready. Nieves is checking.
Good pitch.
Busted bat. Echeverria gets him. And Conley gets through the 6th. Pirates strand 2. Miami leads it 2-0. is the presenting sponsor of Miami Marlins baseball. Marlins Park tonight, and the Pirates bullpen swings into action. Wilfredo Boscan in for Pittsburgh. Boscan started the year in AAA Indianapolis. Had good numbers there. And he opens with Echeverria. Ichiro is on deck. And then JT Realmuto. Slow tapper, Boscan, a flip. And with one pitch, he gets an out here in the 6th. Just by circumstance, over the first 2 games, Miami has avoided the really good back end of Pittsburgh's bullpen. Ichiro last night getting a start and knocking 2 more hits off the climb to 3,000. Both base hits were hit well. That one ripped to right.
Hit tracker shirts. One of the neatest things I've seen is the bobble hit that they had for Ichiro that had the hit tracker on it, the counter. That's one of the neater ones I've ever seen.
Well, you're not alone. I hear those are going for about $200 on eBay. And on that hit tracker bobblehead, 2,963 hangs up there. He's tied with Sam Crawford, 31st on the all-time list. Strike. A ball and a strike.
Well, now that Stanton's back and Yelich is back healthy, Ichiro is definitely not going to have as many opportunities to get that hit count up. But he's still going to be in a pinch hit role. He's still going to be part of a lot of double switches.
Ichiro kind of falling out of the box, flips that one up in the air. And he is out number 2 here in the 6th. That brings up Realmuto.
Boscan did a good job of changing speeds right there. Change up, got Ichiro to reach for it, got him off balance, got himself an easy out.
And here comes Realmuto. That back of the bullpen for the Pirates that's been really, really good. Neftali Feliz, Tony Watson, and of course Mark Melancon, their all-star closer. Realmuto has doubled, lined out, and struck out. The Orioles smartly walked Mookie Betts in his next at bat, so he's 2 for 2 with 2 more homers tonight. And that game, a lot of runs, 8-7 Baltimore over Boston. That's still in the bottom of the 4th. Up at Camden Yards. The Nationals have opened up a can of, well, it's 6-0. Nationals over the Phillies, bottom 6. Dodgers have scored first against the Cubs, 1-0. Bottom 3rd. Giants beating the Braves 4-1. Braves won the first game of that series. Giants won last night. Here tonight, Adam Conley, just 2 hits over 6 innings. Realmuto's bouncer. Harrison on to first, just in time to get him a 1-2-3 inning out of the Pirates' pen. 2-0 Miami. JetBlue homestand. All right, one more game with the Pirates. Close the roof. Show the fans. Bobble your heads. And then bring on the weekend. And the weekend brings the Mets. That's always a lot of fun here in Miami. Mets, Marlins, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Clevelander will be hopping this weekend. 2-0 here, 7th inning. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Get us? Right. All right, I'm sorry, guys, who couldn't hear us. Rich was talking about the game of the week. Rennie Stennett was on that game of the week many times. Second baseman's made Florida home for a long time. It's good. You look great. How are you enjoying yourself these days?
Well, playing a little golf and running around with the grandkids and, having a good time. Right now I'm into trying to promote some children's book, for, trying to do a different approach to the bullying, trying to get it into the
topic these days. Let's talk a little bit about, you were a great second baseman, 70s, 80s, the world champion 79 Pirates, the We Are Family team. How good was that team?
Well, I think it was a great team. We feel we could win every game, which isn't possible. But I think we came back 45 times one year, won 45 times from behind. We had a lot of good guys, a lot of fun, and we really like each other. Even today when we see somebody's like 40 years ago, you really have a good time, and, it was so much fun.
Grew up in Panama with some unbelievable players. Manny Sanguin, your teammate, catcher for the Pirates. Rod Carew was how many houses down?
Yeah, 4 houses down.
4 houses down.
Rod was born in the train that came through our town, and he's named Rod off of that, the conductor and the train that delivered him. Wow. That's what the name Rod. That's where he got the name Rod.
The name Rod, because that was his name.
Yes. Great hitter.
Did your brother played with Rod Carew?
Yes, I have an older brother. He looks a lot like, my older brother looks a lot like Roberto Clemente. And he played in the minor leagues for the Cleveland Indians and in Minnesota too. And I think it was Player of the Year in the Florida State League. That's like in the early 60s, and I came after.
Walk to Cervelli here as Harrison comes up. You've been about 15 games here. I know the Pirates are in your blood, so they're probably your team, but do you follow the Marlins a little bit?
Oh, definitely, always. I've always followed them. Matter of fact, the first game here, it was on my birthday, and I remember it poured rain, a storm all morning, but they had the game. And, I came to the game with some friends. And, I know Conine and all those guys, I've seen some, great players come through here. And they've always have a great bunch of talent. They just need to get everything together right now. Like this year, I think they're always a very talented team.
They're fun to watch. It's good to see you too, Rennie. Any information about that book that you're working on? Is it a book yourself?
No, it's a series of children book, but the first one is, like I said, it's about it's a different approach to try to help stop bullying at a younger age. It will between 5 and 12. I think that's where you got to attack that situation a little better.
Some thought your Pirates were bullies, but that was in a good way, in a baseball way, because you guys were tough with Stargell and Parker and all the great players that you had.
Well, they were fun guys and a lot of instigating, and there's a guy upstairs there named Steve Blass. He was right in the middle of it too, but we just had so much fun. We got to the ballpark at midday for a 7 o'clock game, and it's just so unbelievable how it was now. It's different today, they said, but.
I saw a quote today from Willie Starr, just an old quote, but he said they don't start a baseball game by saying work ball, they say play ball.
That's right, that's the philosophy, grown men playing a kid's game. So the main thing Stargell taught me was not to take the game home with you. Because as a rookie, I remember I came from the outfield to the infield, and if I'd made an error or something, I left that night really kind of mad, and I realized the next night, I was still uptight, and I might make an error again. And ever since I followed what he says, after you leave the stadium, you go home, get 100%, and you leave, then everything starts coming into focus.
Good focus. Thank you, Rennie.
All right, man.
Good to see you. Rennie Stennett, guys. He was a great one. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Craig. Marlins bullpen is active. Mike Dunn is the lefty. David Phelps the righty. Kyle Barraclough here. with Josh Harrison. A 3-2 pitch coming, and it's smacked into left field for a hit. So a walk and now a single. And Bearclaw has been treated a little roughly here to start the 7th inning. He's got Sean Rodriguez, John Jaso, and then the pitcher spot coming up for the Pirates. I have to admit, I've never heard that story about Rod Carew being born on a train and named after the conductor who delivered him.
See, that's what happens when you get to speak with one of his fellow countrymen.
Guy that grew up 4 doors down.
That's right. You get little tidbits like that.
So a single by Harrison. Rodriguez has struck out twice, but that was the work of Adam Conley, who sits in Miami's dugout after 6 very nice innings. Equaling his career high of 9 strikeouts. Fastball in from Bearclaw at 97.
Oh, and that's the beauty of baseball. Even those of us who grew up watching the game and were in the game and have been around the game and are watching the game every day now still can hear things that we've never heard before about guys we followed for years.
Calling a strike. Your Pirate box score that Harrison hit only the 3rd of the night. And the Pirates, with 2 outs in the 6th, got their first hit. That was Andrew McCutchen. Now, Rodriguez has ventured down to talk to Rick Sofield, the third base coach, with a 1-1 count. Got Jaso on deck. Is he bunting here? Is that why he went down for a little chat?
Usually when that happens, there's a sign missed, or just want to make the batter aware that he needs to look, because in this situation you could be bunting, but if you never look, the other teams know that you're not bunting.
He squares. Takes a strike. That, if there's one pitch you don't want to see when you're bunting, is a Kyle Bearclaw slider. And look at the spot.
It's tough, but I'd rather hit his slider than a fastball up in the zone. I mean, try to bunt his slider and a fastball up, because his fastball has so much life up in the top of the zone. It's a pop-up waiting to happen. On a bunt, I'd rather try to miss. I'd rather miss it on a slider than pop it up on a fastball. That's assuming if I don't get it down.
Outside corner. There's the slider again. Exact same pitch and exact same spot. Pitch 4 covers pitch 3 on the Fox tracks.
They say pitching is being able to repeat a delivery. Well, this is it. That's a perfect repetition of the previous delivery. The ball is in the exact same spot. And Sean Rodriguez, that's why you got to look for that sign when you get in the box, because you cost yourself a foul ball to not get your job done. Then you got to face 2 nasty sliders. And not only did you get a strikeout, you didn't help your team.
Now John Jaso with 1 out. And Bearclaw misses low with a breaking ball.
Oh, sometimes as players we get a little bit excited when we get in the box and we see those men out there in score position. We forget one of the basic things, which is look for a sign.
Matt Joyce is on deck. Two 2-0. A walk to Cervelli, a single by Harrison. Bearclaw struck out Rodriguez. And now he's 2-0 on Jaso's, having a nice year. Bearclaw's falling behind 3-0. Coors Light, cold hard fact. The Pirates are the only team not to be shut out this season. And it's the 8th longest to start a season in club history. Fastball up. So, bags are loaded. This would be a heck of a place to bring Mike Dunn in for his first action since coming off the disabled list. Bearclaw walking. Joyce, the left-handed bat, announced as a pinch hitter. And Don Mattingly is going to come out. And he's going to make the call. And Mike Dunn will make his 2016 debut with the bags loaded, 1 out in the 7th in a 2-run game. Miami up 2-0, but Pittsburgh has the bags loaded. Mike Dunn reinstated from the DL. Dunn with a strained forearm. He's been on the disabled list since the spring. Made some rehab appearances in Single A. Went 3 scoreless innings. And this is not a soft landing here for him. Matt Joyce, in his career, a 183 average against lefties. But obviously, no room for error here with Dunn. Last season, an ERA in the mid-4s. Bags loaded in his career. Joyce, 4 grand slams. Joyce, an all-star with the Rays in 2011. Out of Florida Southern University. Infield's back, 1 out. Bags loaded. Dunn's fastball misses up.
Well, talk about trying to calm the adrenaline. This guy hasn't been out there for a while, and you come in and it's bases loaded, and you got to try to help your team get out of a jam coming fresh off the DL.
And that first strike has to feel good. A ball and a strike. Dunn, an outfielder originally when the Yankees drafted him.
One thing you can never question about Mike Dunn is his intensity. He is an intense dude.
1-1. Slider just missed off the plate. Two and 1. Now Bearclaw walked 2, gave up a hit. Two and 2. He is the Marlins' all-time leader in relief wins and holds. Also has the lowest percentage of inherited runners scored. All-time Marlin relievers. 2-2 here. Elevates a fastball. Joyce is a patient guy. Jordy Mercer. Bases filled with Pirates. Cervelli at third, Harrison at second, Jaso's at first. Dunn ready, 3-2 coming. On the ground into right field, a base hit. Great jump at second by Harrison, and he will score easily. This game is tied.
Let's go! Let's go!
You saw that stat, pinch hit RBIs. Matt Joyce atop the National League, and you can add 2 more with this pinch hit 2-run single.
Oh, that ball just stays on that inside part of the plate. Matt Joyce just looks so comfortable there on that swing, pulls that ball through the hole. And like you said, a great jump from second base by Josh Harrison.
Mike Dunn exits. A West Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Miami's bullpen. The Marlins lead is gone, and Phelps arrives an inning ahead of schedule to try to put out the fire here in the 7th. Matt Joyce, 2-run single to right. Joyce at first. You can see Jaso down at second. Albercla on the rail watching. And remember, this was his inning to start with, but 2 walks, a hit, and a strikeout. That saw him come right out of the ball game. So here's Phelps. Jordy Mercer is 0 for 2. Then you got McCutchen. Miami got their 2 in the 5th. Pirates have their 2 here in the 7th. And Phelps misses someplace. It's 1-0. Just off the plate. Bouncer up the middle. Echeverria to his left. Has it. Flip. Dietrich turn in time. Nicely done. 6-4-3. But the Pirates tie it. And it's 2-2. In Miami tonight, 2-2 ball game. Pirates, Marlins. Rich Waltz along with Preston Wilson. And for the Fish, Adam Conley was terrific, but the bullpen couldn't hold the lead. And now it's a 2-2 ball game here in the 7th.
So Adam Conley did a great job tonight. Unfortunately, Barraclough came in and just had a rough outing. 2 walks, gave up a base hit, and that was it for his night.
For the Pirates now, and we talked about it earlier, the Marlins have avoided the back end of that Pirate bullpen, which is really good. And it starts now with Neftali Feliz. Then you got Tony Watson, and of course Mark Melancon is their all-star closer. Marlins would like to avoid him tonight.
Yeah, this bullpen is one of the best. When you play against the Pirates, you got to try to stay away from him. And right now, the Marlins are going to have to fight that dragon that comes out of that Pirate bullpen.
Well, the first out is Feliz. And he works here to Martin Prado with Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, and if anybody reaches, Giancarlo Stanton. Bottom 7. Prado swings and misses. 2 hits for Prado after a night off last night. Funny how that works sometimes.
And you could see it. You could see that Prado needed the night off. Just the way his body language was changing. You know, and he's one of the most calm guys there is, and he was starting to get a little frustrated. Unfortunately, Mattingly had that short bench. He wasn't able to give as many guys days off as he would like to have.
Yeah, the Marlins went a week with no Stanton, no Yelich. And so you couldn't really spell Prado. Could not give Ozuna a day off. But they're both back tonight. Emergency swing and a foul ball. Tomorrow night, Wei-Yin Chen, Juan Nicasio, and then it really gets fun on Friday night. Noah Syndergaard, Tom Kohler, Bartolo Colon, Justin Nicolino on Saturday afternoon against the Mets. Jose Fernandez, Matt Harvey on Sunday. Prado kind of sticking the bat out and just flicking away pitches from that outside part.
I think that Saturday game is going to be a lot of fun with Bartolo Colon. If nothing else, Feliz is trying to stay off that outside edge, but Prado keeps spoiling him.
Speaking of Jose Fernandez, our inside look brought to you by Toyota and the all-new RAV4. Best pitching months in Marlins history. How about wins? Tied with Chris Hammond. How about strikeouts? Bypasses Ricky Nolasco.
Chris Hammond, what a changeup that guy had. Wow.
Now, to take it even further, Jose was 6-0 in May with a 1.38 ERA. Over the last 40 years, only 3 pitchers matched or bettered in each of the pitching Triple Crown categories for 1 month in Jose's May. Bouncer to short. Mercer straightens up and throws out Prado. Those 3 individuals. Hideo Nomo, June '95. Randy Johnson, twice in April of 2000 and 2002, and Clayton Kershaw 2 years ago. Dominating months. We put them up against each other. Look at the walks for Kershaw. That's ridiculous.
That's beyond ridiculous.
Player of the Month voting today, and I believe the award announced tomorrow. Pitcher of the Month and Player of the Month. Yelich fouls that one back into the glove of Cervelli, 97 miles an hour.
Rich, we got to find out if they do a play-by-play guy of the month. I think you would have won it in April. You had a great April.
Unfortunately, my May went well below average, and I was announcing at a replacement announcer level. My war was a mess. I even got a note of condolence from Brian Kenny on that. Fastball misses out. And it's 1-2.
Well, if there's anybody keeping stats, I guarantee you Brian Kenny's keeping the stats.
Neftali Feliz. Yelich lines it foul. Feliz out of the Dominican, just turned 28. Texas Ranger for the longest time, from 09 through most of 2015. He finished with Detroit last year. Did not have a good year out of either Texas's pen or Detroit's pen. But he was a beast out of the Rangers pen in 2014, and he seems to have recaptured that. Really good for the Rangers back in their World Series seasons.
Well, if there's a guy that can recapture something in a pitcher, it's Ray Searage, the Pirates pitching coach.
It's a great point. Of course, the Marlins vice president of pitching, Jim Benedict, was part of that group in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's top end velocity from Feliz. And Yelich goes down, and this is why the Marlins wanted to avoid the back end. It's like the back end of the hurricane. If you live in South Florida, you know that that's no bueno. That's not good. And so Feliz, Watson, and Melanson lined up for the Pirates in a 2-2 game in the bottom of the 7th. And here's Ozuna. Good bat speed against high-end velocity. .98 from Feliz. Ouch. You saw Cervelli spin around to make sure the home plate umpire, James Hoy, was okay.
Little professional courtesy by two guys that have to stand back there in that line of fire. And that hit him right in the face mask. Cervelli's like, look, I can complain about balls and strikes, but I'm going to care about your well-being too when something happens back there.
Second career at bat here. First one worked out well for Ozuna. Oh, 2 coming. Slider out. Nine consecutive scoreless appearances for Feliz. And a strikeout of Ozuna. 1-2-3 for Neftali Feliz. 8th inning rolls along. 2-2. The 8th, let's samurai. Here we go, La Lechonera. Game summary. Little bouncer. Nice slide by JT Real Muto, and Miami was on the board first. Chris Johnson up, wild pitch down. Jonathan Neese uncorks one. Martin Prado scores, and it's 2-0 Miami. Adam Conley didn't give up a hit until the 6th. He lasted 6. Mike Dunn came in after Kyle Barraclough walked a couple. Matt Joyce authored that 2-run single to right. Let's go! And Josh Harrison said, let's go. Let's go Bucks. Or something to that effect when he scored. And that's it. That's 2-2. So the bullpens are in now, and it's the back end of the pens. David Phelps, the 8th inning guy for the Marlins, finished the 7th in fine fashion. Got a double play ball through all of 2 pitches. And the Marlins just experienced the Neftali Feliz. And he was good. Struck out 2 in a 1-2-3 inning. Phelps to work. Andrew McCutchen, David Freese, Starling Marte for the Pirates. Keep in mind, Jung Ho Kang did not start. He's available to pinch hit. Gregory Polanco has a sore foot. That kept him out of the lineup, but he's available to pinch hit. Ball and a strike. There is Polanco. Phelps 95 with a fastball. Boy, he's been outstanding this year out of Miami's bullpen.
This is just absolute power fastball up above the zone and rising. And as a hitter, once you start that swing, halfway into that swing, you know you're walking back to the dugout.
Last year he was 4-8 with a 4.50 ERA, and he was bounced between the bullpen and middle relief and the starting rotation. But this year, starting in the middle of the pen, working his way back into the 8th inning, he has found a really nice spot. And talking to scouts who have watched him pitch, many say he has the stuff, he has the personality to close games if needed.
I think a lot of people are going to be knocking on the Marlins doorstep trying to find out what's the deal with this guy and if he's available, because he looks great in the late inning stages.
Got him. Well, in this day and age of baseball, a great 7th, a great 8th inning guy are just as valuable as a closer. You look at the San Francisco Giants and their success and their run of setup guys working into the closer in all 3 World Championship years. Obviously the Royals and what they lined up 7th, 8th, and 9th the last 2 seasons, getting to and then finally winning a World Series.
Well, you see the Yankees, who haven't had the starting pitching that they normally have. They've gone to that 7th, 8th, 9th deal with Betances, Andrew Miller, and the closer that they got at the back end. I can't think of him right now, but they've done a great job of setting that up.
The Cuban Missile.
That's right, yes. Chapman, Aroldis Chapman. There he is.
You couldn't think of him because he was suspended for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But those 3 guys are a version of what the Royals had last year. And Dave Island, who was the architect of that, did a great job. And now you see other teams starting to try to emulate it.
0-2. Fastball up.
You see a lot of teams whose starting pitching isn't as good as they want it to be. They end up trying to find these really, really good arms in the bullpen to try to make up for that.
Shorten the game. David Phelps strikes out the side. 13 strikeouts tonight for Marlin pitching. Giancarlo Stanton leads it off in the 8th. Obviously a tight one here. David Phelps. Let's go. David Phelps gets 5 outs. He got out of the 7th with a double play grounder and then blew right through the teeth of the order for the Pirates and struck out the side in the 8th. So the aforementioned Tony Watson now backing up Neftali Feliz, usually setting up Mark Melancon. Stanton struck out twice and walked. Watson with an Adam Conley-like delivery, whips it in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. What have you seen from Stanton in his at-bats tonight?
Actually, not that bad. He doesn't really have much to show for it, but the pitch was borderline down on his second strikeout. He had a walk his first at bat, got on. Not bad. I think his approach has been pretty good tonight.
Stamp pops that one foul and out of play. Now that side issue that sidelined him was something he had in spring training that flared up. It calmed down after a few days. And remember, he had a nice start to the season. Still has a dozen homers. But you wonder how long he was battling it during that awful slump that he had when the strikeouts piled up into the 20s over a 3-week span.
I'm telling you, I really think that collision he had with Marcell Ozuna in the outfield really affected him. You look at the way he landed, jarring that side, and it was against the wall, and the wall has a concrete base under it. And both of those guys were running all out. Their feet got tangled, and they went down. And when you can't protect yourself, bad things happen.
Stanton shoots that one. Harrison to his left and gets the out. So Watson has the first out of the 8th. Follow the Marlins, follow your favorite team with MLB.com app. Bat, it's the app you got to have. Download it now. You get up to the moment updates with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, more. Download MLB.com app. Bat #1 app for live baseball on your phone, your tablet, your mobile device, your watch, your virtual reality glasses. Okay, you get the at-bat app on the Google glasses?
I don't know. I don't have those, but that would be interesting to be able to pull that up and have it just right in your heads-up display.
That's an Eduardo Perez question, because Eduardo owns just about every electronic gadget.
He is a techie guy, isn't he?
Known to man. Johnson 2 for 2. Fouls it back. Watson really slings it up there, and A.J. Ramos is in the pen. Tony Watson went to the University of Nebraska after a stellar high school career in Iowa. As an Iowa pitcher, when you win the Bob Feller Award, you've done something. He had 3 no-hitters in high school. And his ERA is still an Iowa State record, 0.10.
Wait a second, what? 0.10?
Yes.
So there's a guy in that state who everybody goes, oh, you're that guy who scored the run off of him.
Fastball up in, and it's 2-2.
Wow, 0.10.
Hey, his ERA last year was 0.64 at PNC Park. That one fouled at the plate. Overall, a 1.91 ERA. He's one of these lefties that, and names that, unless you really follow baseball, you don't recognize the excellence that Tony Watson has run out there the last few seasons. In 14, a 1.63 ERA, 1.91 last year.
Oh.
Chris Johnson strikes out, and he was an all-star too. But still, when you're a 7th or an 8th inning guy, you don't get a lot of run, you don't get a lot of endorsement deals. Here's Dietrich now. Dietrich pulls it foul. All of Dietrich's at bats tonight against lefties. John Neese went 5 innings. 6 hits. Both Miami runs. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Count 0-2. So it looks like the Marlins are going to trot out A.J. Ramos for the top of the 9th. You wonder if I guess the Pirates are going to obviously hold off on Melanson unless they get a run in the top of the 9th. Ouch, hit him.
Oh, that sounded really, really solid. That's not good.
Yeah, Dietrich down and hurt.
Oh, that's terrible. I could hear that one. That one got him really flush.
He often takes it off that right elbow or the right shoulder, but that one got through and hit the left arm, and yeah, he's not going to first. He's going right to the clubhouse.
No, he knows right away. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's flush. That's as a hitter, you know different sounds, and that was the something's not right sound. You know that was direct impact, and it's got a different sound when it just hits you and glances off than when it hits. You can see that impact go all the way down his arm, that ripple. That means it was really solid contact there. Look at this thing. Look at the wave of energy just go down his arm. Oh. And Dietrich's a tough guy, so it had to hit him pretty square for him to automatically say, I'm out, and take me in the clubhouse.
Echeverria now. Rojas is running at first, and Watson misses in. Marlins have Cole Gillespie on deck for a possible pinch hit appearance. 2-2, bottom 8. It's 2-0 to Echeverria. Echeverria lined into a double play in the 4th, and that at bat in the 2nd still a factor in this game. Miami had the bags loaded and nobody out, and he pulled the ball on the ground to 3rd. Pirates got the out at the plate and then got out of that inning. That's in, and they count 3-0. And you would think Echeverria will keep that bat on his shoulder. But we'll see. Hi. Gillespie on deck, 3-1 coming to Echeverria.
I look at Echeverria, and he's in that place right now that all hitters get to. I've been there. Your timing is just not there, so you end up offering it pitches that aren't close because you don't have time to recognize. When he started going well, he mentioned his timing was better. That means he's getting his foot down in time, and he's not rushed to swing at the ball before he recognizes what it is.
And Watson's no dummy. He's just going to pound him in, because if Etch is going to swing at balls that far in, why throw him anything over the plate?
When hitters are going well, it feels like you slow the ball down, and that's because your foot's down on time. You don't have to swing before you see what's happening. And your swing is a nice fluid swing. You don't feel like you're muscling up. And right now, Etch is in that bad place, where it looks like he's over-swinging because the swing is late. And you hear guys saying, oh, just cut down your swing, you're over-swinging. It's not that he's over-swinging, it's that he's got to catch up. So all those big muscles get involved in it's pulling the body off the ball, because that's the way your body tries to cheat when it's late.
Is it as simple as getting that left foot down earlier?
It is part of getting that foot down earlier. It could be a balance issue, where when he lands, he's not at a good balance point. His head may be moving too much. You know, I'm sure Frank Menachino and Barry Bonds are in there looking at his tape, seeing what's going on. The hard thing about baseball, though, is it's every day. It's not like basketball where if you have something wrong in your shot or your defense, you get 2 days to go over video, work with a coach in practice. In baseball, there's another game happening that next night. So you got to fix it between the end of that game, batting practice, before that game starts the very next night. And it's not easy.
Echeverria drills it, left center field, and deep, it's going to the wall. Rojas around third, on his way home. Adeiny Echeverria. 3-2 Miami. Well, Watson left one out over the plate, and Echeverria was all over it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat. Echeverria battled, kept hanging in there, was able to foul off enough to see enough pitches. Sometimes staying in the box long enough helps you be able to figure it out a little bit. See how early his foot was down right there? How easy that swing was? He got to it nice and easy. Didn't look like he was over swinging, and drilled this ball. He knew it when it left the bat that it was at least a double. Picked up that big run. Now Ramos is going to come in with the lead, and the Fish are in business. Attaboy, Etch.
That's got to feel good for Echeverria. Well, I'm sure wishes he had the at-bat back in the second. But the redemption is the RBI double here in the 8th. Cervelli, Harrison, and Rodriguez. Remember, Gung and Polanco are available as well. Ray Searage, a quick visit. And now Watson gets Cole Gillespie with Real Muto on deck.
That's the kind of thing that can get a hitter going, because in that effort of fouling off all those pitches, he was able to finally start stretching out that timing a little bit.
Gillespie takes out. And Watson steps off. So the Marlins get to the back of the Pirates bullpen. They get to Watson. A painful at bat for Derek Dietrich. Hit by that fastball. He immediately went to the Marlins clubhouse holding that left wrist. And Echeverria's long at bat. The 2-0 coming to Gillespie. Good swing there, and he fouls it back. Two balls, two strikes. Ramos continues to get ready in Miami's bullpen. Two-two. Got him. High fastball. But the Marlins get a run. Adeiny Echeverria. An RBI double and a 3-2 lead to the 9th. Echeverria, an RBI double with 2 outs. And that means A.J. Ramos is back on the mound. And last night, it was a wild ride for Ramos.
Yes, he could not quite get the pitches under control, but he battled and stayed through it and was able to get out of it. But the control was not there. The command was missing. But he was able to get a breaking ball. He got away with that pitch there to Gregory Polanco. That was a 405-foot out. But then the breaking ball showed up. Locked up Jang Ho Kang. Came up for starting Marte. Got in on him with the fastball with the flare to Ichiro and right, and that ended the ball game.
Ramos, in his own words, will tell you that he's a guy with a starter's repertoire. And as a closer, you need to come in and have command of all your pitches. When you're a starter, you can fiddle around for a few innings and try to find touch on your breaking ball, control on your fastball. No such luxury is afforded a closer. Miguel Rojas out at second base. He takes over defensively as well. He came in and pitch ran for Dietrich. So, A.J. Ramos, what's in store for tonight? Francisco Cervelli, Josh Harrison, Sean Rodriguez for the Pirates. And a fastball misses in. Cervelli has walked twice. Last year, an outstanding on-base percentage, .370 for Cervelli. It's his breakout year. 30-year-old catcher. Ramos misses, and it's 2-0. Certainly no safety net, no 3-run cushion tonight. Strike there. Even Cervelli is not shy about voicing his displeasure as a hitter to the umpire. He shook his head back and forth, and you know what? He had a point. That was just in. So a break for Ramos. And a 2-1 coming.
Tell you one thing Cervelli does is when he gets his batting stance set, he doesn't move out of the batter's box. He takes a pitch and he just stays right there. He is not one of those guys that walks around the batter's box after every pitch.
Ramos with a leadoff walk in the ninth. And that will make a manager's stomach turn. And you can see he wasn't on the plate at all. Now Harrison, who was a tough man to double. And Cervelli runs pretty well for a catcher at first. Harrison's got 5 hits and 11 at bats in this series. Last night, that was the pitch that brought Ramos back from the brink. That breaking ball. And he trots it out here. First pitch to Harrison. And then buzzes a fastball by him at 92. Checkers brings you Marlins live after the ball game. Cervelli at first, the tying run in the ninth. Ramos 0-2 coming. Breaking ball lined left field. Yelich is there and he makes the catch.
Oh, got away with run right there. That's a hanging 0-2 breaking ball, and Josh Harrison hit it well, but it might have been a little bit too far off the plate inside to really crush. But this is a mistake. Watch this ball just stop about mid-thigh high. Oh, man.
And watch the reaction from Harrison. Yeah, he knew he missed it.
Yeah, that's one you want to get back, because even though that ball is off the plate, as a hitter, if you recognize it, you can get your hands to that pitch and do some real damage.
Sean Rodriguez, Braddock High School here in Miami. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. 2 of those were Adam Conley. 1 of those was Kyle Barraclough. Prado hugging the line at third. Johnson holding Cervelli at first. Echeverria and Rojas hoping for a ground ball up the middle. 0-2. And the breaking ball working for Ramos again tonight.
Yeah, that's the more the slurvy one that's going, from right to left with that break. Last night it was more the curveball. He had a more top to bottom finish on it. But he seems to have found it a lot earlier than he did last night.
0-2. Nice job by Real Muto.
I think that's the 0-2 breaking ball he was trying to throw to Harrison.
John Jaso is on deck. Then you've got the pitcher spot for the Pirates. That probably will be Polanco or Gung. 1-2. Got him! 4 strikeouts for Rodriguez, 2 outs for Ramos.
Well, he got a healthy dose of this breaking ball. First 3, 2 out of 3 were strikes, and that one was too much to lay off of. You can see Rodriguez there just trying to flail and get a piece of it, but Ramos is just so nasty when he's throwing strikes.
Now Jaso. Jaso faced Ramos last night and singled against him. John Jaso 0 for 2 tonight. Into the bat. Ramos has it. Fires the first. Ball game. How about that? Leadoff walk. No problem. Adeiny Echeverria's double with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th stands up, and the Marlins back end of their bullpen outpitches the Pirates pen. And Miami wins it to go 3 over 500. Having won 2 of the first 3 in this 4-game set.
Don Mattingly's got to be happy the way his ball club responded after that tough game that Jeff Locke to come in and face Garrett Cole, get a win there, persevere through this one, get up, blow the lead, but still fight back against this tough, very tough Pirates bullpen to come out with a win.
This Wednesday night showdown brought to you by La Lechonera. Craig Minervini is down below and standing by as the Marlins walk through the line. Adeiny Echeverria, a big hit, a great battle against Tony Watson.
Let's get a look at that last out. Watch Ramos, cat-like off the mound, barehanded, is in a good fielding position, throws this ball right on target. Chris Johnson with the stretch. And that is a ball game win for the Fish. I like it. I like seeing athletic pitchers.
The club is officially open in the Marlins clubhouse. Let the lasers and the smoke machine get rolling.
Oh, it's about to get weird, Rich.
And the Fish, winners here. They were blown out in game 1. The Pirates beat them 10-0. But last night, a 3-1 win, with Ramos wobbling but hanging in there to get the save. And tonight, Ramos a leadoff walk and then 3 consecutive outs. And we go down below with Craig Minervini. Craig?
All right, thank you very much. What an exciting ball game for the Marlins. Adeiny Echeverria joins us. John Eric Alvarez will handle the interpretation. Your at bat was a monster at bat. How exciting for you?
Ya, me siento muy contento ya que no había dado hit en el juego y pude conectarle el batazo para ganarle. Eso me hace sentir que hice algo para el equipo.
No, I'm just happy. I mean, I entered that at bat with no hits in the game, and to come through with a big hit in the game, it feels good just to be able to come through for the team.
Nobody likes to see anybody get hit. It wasn't intentional. Watson hits Derek Dietrich. Did you want to get that hit not only for your ball club, but for Derek Dietrich, who was hit on the, looked like the ankle or the arm?
¿Cómo es?
¿Qué pensaste después de se lesionó Derek Dietrich? ¿Tenía en tu mente que quería...?
No, en verdad, en verdad yo quería que se pasara, porque yo quería hacer algo por el equipo, porque en verdad me sentí mal cuando en el primer inning con base llena, en verdad no pude ayudar al equipo, pero me sentí bien, quería que Jerry se pasara para yo.
Oh, the monkey.
No, I mean, I was just more focused on getting for Derek to get on base, and just because in my first time at bat, I had the bases loaded, and I wasn't able to come through, so I just wanted to get on base, so come through there.
We'll let him clean up here. Adaney had a big defensive game last night with Jose. You've been hitting .339, leading NL shortstop since mid-May. How more comfortable do you feel at the plate? You look like last year's Adaney Echeverria.
En verdad no me siento como lo que es 100%, como me sentí el año pasado, pero en realidad a la vez me siento contento porque estoy haciendo un buen trabajo y veo que estoy subiendo mi averaje poco a poco, so eso es bueno.
No, I mean, I don't feel that's 100% I was last year, but I'm starting to get in the groove. I'm starting to feel more and more comfortable and getting better at bats.
What do you prefer, apple pie, cheesecake, or shaving cream pie?
Cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake.
Yeah.
How is the shaving cream pie? Not too bad?
¿Cómo?
¿Cómo te sientes shaving cream?
No, sí, se siente bien. Está bien.
¿No te molesta?
No.
No, it feels good. I'll take it.
We'll take it too. Nice job. This is a big win for your ball club. A good win. Marlins won 2 in a row against the Pirates. Guys, go for the cheesecake, I think he said, right?
Yeah. A wise choice. A nice way to finish off a win. Miami Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Miami beats Pittsburgh 3-2. Fish have taken 2 of 3 from the Pirates. And a dramatic one at the end for sure. Marlins Live postgame, all the highlights, Don Mattingly's postgame presser, all of that coming up. Oh, wear it, Adaney.
Told you it was going to get weird.